Today I am going to discuss about the granitic landform, which is one of the most important aspects of geomorphological study. That several questions are arrived in the exam that the landform associated to the granitic structure or the landform found on the granitic structure. So as you know that granite is a hard crystalline rock which is made of three minerals, basically the quartz, feldspar and mica. The composition of these three landforms that help to develop the granitic structure. So it is an example of the intrusive igneous rock. Intrusive igneous rock. In granite, there is a crack or joints that running through it, and vertical joints that are formed granite and cooled and contracted, whereas the horizontal joints that is formed due to release of pressure from the overlying rocks. Although granite is very hard resistance rock, however, their main process that affect it are the freeze thaw and hydrolysis. These are the two main processes that are affecting to form the different types of landform from the granitic structure. So the granite was exposed to the millions of years later by erosion of the softer rocks around it to create some unique landforms that we are now going to discuss about this in these classes. So what are the unique landforms? First, coming to the exfoliation domes. These exfoliation domes, that is granitic rocks when subjected to exfoliation or onion weathering, that is give birth to a dome-shaped landform, which is known as the exfoliation domes. There are several domes has been found near the Ranchi plateau. That is the Kanke dome near Ranchi city, is an example of the exfoliation domes. Next, dome-shaped hills. These dome-shaped hills project above the general surface when massive granitic batholith exposed to the earth surface due to removal of the superincumbent load of the overlying rocks. Then the dome-shaped hills are developed. Tors. Tors are the small heaps of boulders that is 4 to 20 meter height, rising abruptly from the surrounding gentle ground surface, which are abundant in places like Zimbabwe and Uganda. V-shaped river valleys. In the V-shaped river valleys that are formed due to the numerous surface streams, and these are stripped due to the resistant nature of the granite. Grass. A loose of accumulation, that is fragmented products formed due to the process of weathering from the granitic landforms. Inselbergs. Inselbergs, there are steep-sided isolated hills that rise abruptly of the surrounding plains and so much variety of in scale in the morphology. Next come the blocky inselbergs. These blocky inselbergs are the large scale tors which may exceed 300 meters in height and develop when there is a rectangular joints is dominant, which is guided to form this block in suburbs, the weathering process. Bernhard. These are the most common form of the insulvers that are characterized by the great height that may exceed 300 meters and possess a near vertical or even overhanging sides. The rounded summit and the thick rock sheets are determined by the massive sheet joint in the rock produced by the pressure release. Rouvare, the full-back domes which possess smooth convex surface that are low dome set. That are incipient insulvers from the early stage of the development. Castle copy. These are the low irregular hills formed when the insulvers are subjected to prolonged subaerial weathering and collapse. Edge plane. This land surface which is subjected to one or more phases of the deep weathering followed by the partial or complete removal of regolith cover which is formed from the granitic landforms. There is one important model that is developed by Ruxton and Berry related to the granite. The model explains the deep weathering in jointed granite, which suggests that there is a gradual decomposition of the granite from the surface downwards will produce 4 identifiable zones. Which are the 4? That is zone 1. This zone is the uppermost horizon comprises of the just residual debris in the granitic structure. Zone 2. This is the less decomposed and comprises of some residual debris, grass and some coarse stones. This type of landforms are found. Zone 3. Zone 3 may be height up to 17 meters and contains slender coarse stones which are separated by the partially decomposed grass and some residual debris. Zone 4 having a height of up to 30 meters or more and is partially weathered rock from where the water has only just begun to open up the granite joints. Thank you for watching this video.